Okay, so we're ready to begin lesson 3, and we go to our book. So we have our keywords, but we have to learn the letters first. So the first letter we're going to learn is Aleph. And Aleph is silent. It makes no sound. You say, well, then what does it do? It probably used to act as a vowel back before the Nikud were developed. But today, when you see an Aleph, you just look and see what the Nikud around it is, and that's the sound you make. So up here, I have my Aleph, and we know all of these letters, so let's go ahead and do this one. We have my Aleph. It makes no sound, so I'm just going to make the sound of the vowel. It's a patak, which is ah. So I'm going to say ah, ba, ah, ba. Now there's no nikud over here. So what sound does this Aleph make? Well, it makes nothing. It's completely silent. So ah, ba, abba, abba. And Abba means father, as we see here. Okay, our next letter we're going to look at is Mem. Mem. Mem makes the sound like a M. Mem. Like the Okay, this is one of those letters that has two forms, and we're going to see the other form later. A mem and a final mem. So anytime you see this, it's going to be any position in a word, the beginning, middle, towards the end, but it won't be the final letter, because when a mem is at the very end of a word, it has a different form than this. So we have Aleph, makes no sound. We have mem, which makes the sound. And we also have a new vowel. We have a new vowel. And this is called a chirik. And a chirik makes the sound of E as in C. Chirik. And this is one of those that I have seen in older books. When I first started learning Hebrew, the book that I had was written in 1903. And so some books, when you see a chirik, they might pronounce it more like hirik, and it makes more of an I sound, almost like an I instead of an E. I've heard Israelis say, an Israeli teacher said to say chirik, and that you have to kind of smile, and that's how you know you're saying it correctly. But there are older books, so if you have other resources that are a bit older, or if they come from more Haredi sources, which tend to use the Ashkenazi pronunciation, Haredi to be like the ultra-religious, they might have it more of an I instead of an E. And so it just depends on the text you're using. But most people who are working with Hebrew in American context and Israeli context are going to pronounce it as E. Okay, so let's go back. So we have our Aleph, we have Mem, and we have a Chirik, which makes the E sound. And let's go up. And let's see, we said Abba. Now let's see if we can do this one. Aleph, so makes no sound. We're just going to make the sound of the Nikud underneath. So E, Ma. E, Ma. Just like Abba, the last Aleph makes no sound because it has no Nikud. Ima, the last Aleph makes no sound because there's no Nikud. So Abba, father, Ima, mother. All right, let's read. To honor Abba and Ima is one of the 10 commandments. We are taught that by obeying the commandments, we are worthy of a long life. This is the Torah's way of telling us that to honor our parents keeps the Jewish people alive. When we follow this commandment, it is as if we too are standing on Mount Sinai. Okay, so now we're going to go down. By the way, over here, this is what's called Paleo-Hebrew. This would be Hebrew from before the Babylonian exile, if you know your history, which would be 3,000 years old. All right, let's move down. Okay, so we have our keywords are Abba and Ima, and we're going to practice. So just as normal, I'm going to go line by line, and after I say either a syllable or a group of syllables or a word, I'll pause and you can practice at home. So line 1, A, E, ma, me, gi. All right, 2. Notice all of these have an aleph at the end, but there's no nikud, so they're not going to make a sound. Ba, ga, ma, da, ah. Okay, 3. Ata, ita, abba, iba, isha. Okay, 4. Ga'a. Notice all of these have an aleph, but they all have a nikud at the end. So one more time. Ga'a, ta'a, sha'a, ba'a, da'a. Okay, line 5. The second letters, none of them have a nikud, so we'll just be pronouncing the consonant. Beat, mish, eat, meat, tish. Okay, 6. Same thing, no nikud on the second letter, so just pronounce the consonant sound for the second letter. Bat, mash, at, mat, tash. Ibat. And real quick, I'm going to stop. You see all of these? They're 2 syllables, so I'm going to emphasize the second syllable sound. So ibat, imash, biat, bimat, mitash. My picture here, let me see if I can't see the cool Hebrew words. There we go. And so my cool Hebrew word is going to be shamash, which would be the helping candle. So that would be on a Chanukia menorah. The candle that's in the middle that you use to light the others is called a shamash. Shamash, you usually hear it pronounced with like a Sephardic pronunciation, like shamash. That's kind of the different pronunciation, but it's the same thing. So it actually means a servant, and it's the if you have a Chanukia menorah. I'm looking around. I don't have one present. So this is a design. This is a regular menorah, but if it was a Chanukia, then there would be a whole nother branch, and the shamash would be the middle candle that's used to light the others. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, so now we go to our next page. Some more words. Remember, our keywords are Abba and Ima, father and mother. And so line 1, Gash, Mad, Gad, Bat, Mat. Line 2, Gish, Mead, Geed, Beat, Meat. Line 3, 2 syllables again. Agish, Amid, agid, a beat, a meet. Line 4, same thing, 2 syllables, tagish, tamid, tagid, tabit, tamit. Line 5, mug, dash, ud, mush, ush. Line 6, mig, dish, eid, mish, ish. Line 7, bamig, adish, ma'id, gamish, gaish. Okay, it's really unprofessional, but I've done this like 4 times and had to stop. But my dog is outside. It's really hot. He wants to come in, so I'm going to go let him in real quick. It's one of those things when I've done virtual lessons with students before, and I'm doing a lesson, I'm like on my 7th take because I messed up early on, so I keep starting it over. And then my dog runs and jumps up behind me or something if I'm sitting down. I'm like, it'd be like if we had like an interruption if we were together in class, which is how I prefer it anyway. So we'll go back to the lesson now. Okay. So you have some practice with writing aleph and mem, and then aleph with all the vowels you've learned. Kamatz, patak, chirik, a, e. Okay, so then you're going to match the picture with each sound. So we have mem, a, ba, and sh. So mem would go with I'm guessing the boy eating ice cream. He's going, Then ah would go with the girl getting checked out by the doctor. I don't know if Bob would go with books or with the sound that the sheep makes, and then the sh would go with that. So I'm thinking the sh goes with the librarian and the ba goes with the sheep. Okay. All right, lesson 3. Keywords are still Abba and Ima. Okay, it's vowel hints. Sometimes the doctor tells you to open your mouth and say, ah. Then the doctor puts a stick in your mouth. This stick is called a tongue depressor, and it looks like this. When you see a Hebrew vowel that is shaped like a stick, or a stick with a handle, remember to say, ah. The E vowel is 1 dot under a letter. It looks like a little bead. So you hear the E sound. Draw a tongue depressor around all the words that have the ah sound in them. Draw a bead around the words that have the E sound in them. Okay, so gid, you would draw the bead. Gog, you would draw the tongue depressor. Ta, tongue depressor. Mish, the E, so you do the bead. Bagad, the ah, both of these, patak and achamatz, both have the ah, bagad, so it'd be tongue depressor. And idish, idish would be the bead. Okay, so let's continue working our way down. It says Aleph is the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet. Tav is the last letter of the Hebrew alphabet. Color in the spaces that contain the first or last letter of the Hebrew alphabet. And so you do that, and you'll have a picture. And this is one thing I do with when I was working with my mother, is I would just have her make the sounds. So we would kind of start here and say dog, da, ba, ga, da. So we would just go through and make the sounds. But if you want to color it, color it. If you're working with kids, or even if you're not working with kids, and that's something you want to do to kind of help with your noticing some letters standing out from others, you can do that as well. Okay, again, Abba and Ima are keywords. It says complete the picture and the words, color the pictures if you wish. So this is practicing your writing for Abba and Ima, Dag and Shabbat. So it's practicing your writing. And then you're going to practice, it says write the 2 keywords under each picture. You're going to put Ima and Shabbat, and then Abba and Dag, a fish. Okay, and here it says, help Abba and Ima set up the nursery for their new baby. Match each Hebrew letter with its sound. So, got Dalet, it's going to go with D. Have Tav, it's going to go with T. Have Shin, it's going to go with Sh. Have E, that's going to go with this sound here, because it's got the Hirik. All right, and I'm not going to do the rest. You can do those. And that is it for lesson 3. Okay, so hopefully the letters are starting to get more familiar. You're practicing some of your writing. Go over it at least one time without the video, just to practice saying it out loud. Try to do a couple lessons a week. I would say a minimum of 2, but I would really shoot for trying to do 3, if not 4, for a week. Just get that aleph bet under your belt, and then you're ready to move on. Okay, that's it for today and for this lesson.